I thank you. My guests tonight include that megastar of pop, Kylie Minogue, and one of our most popular and successful actors, Robson Green. Also music from a young man who's both a talented musician and a marvellous singer. He is Peter Cincotti. But first up, the man who created the nation's favourite tart, Lily Savage. Most recently, he starred in a sitcom called Eyes Down. He's also the only man I know to have won the Miss Pears beauty contest. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul O'Grady. Just clear up this business about winning the Miss Pears beauty contest.
Well, that was sort of Lily's biog. She was also Little Miss Joraglit because she was the only baby who could suck the wadding without flinching. So that's where Miss Pears came from.
So there's a kind of confusion, is there, in your life between Lily and...
Well, the edges have blurred, you see, now. Like, Lily was born outside a pub in Liverpool called the Legs of Man. And seriously, it's closed now. But she was born on a policeman's overcoat outside the Legs of Man. Consequently, they pulled the Legs of Man down and the Liverpool Empire are building an extension and they put a little plaque up saying Lily Savage was born here. Now, people have said to me in the streets, I believe you were born outside a boozer. No, they're born in a maternity unit in St. Cat's, like everybody else. So the edges do get blurred.
Yeah, but what about Lily herself? We've not seen her for a while, have we? What's happened to her?
She's doing a bit of porridge at the moment.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, she's inside,
yeah,
is she?
Yeah, just having a rest. You know, she loves it.
And
no, she's just done a panto. Did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs again down in Bristol, which I have to say is one of Britain's best kept secrets, Bristol. it's fabulous. Because I don't want to go, we only go to Bristol. Got there, didn't want to come home. I was looking at property in Clifton. You know, I like the place so much.
It's a nice town, and that part of the West Coast is nice. Bath and around there, it's beautiful.
But also, I think they send all the kids to charm school, because even the drunks in the streets, when they're vomiting on you, they say, I'm sorry about that. So nice. Everyone in Bristol was charming. I really loved it.
Let's catch up with you, actually, because since you were last on the show, you've done quite a bit's happened to you. I mean, you came on the show just after you had your heart attack, and we talked about all that. And you're told to take it easy. Well, it doesn't look to me like you've been taking it too easy, actually.
But you can't take it easy, can you? I can't anyway, and, you know, if I get offered work I like...
That's right.
It's difficult to do it.
To slow down.
What am I going to do, sit at home?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. But, I mean, we'll talk about some of the things you have done apart from Eyes Down. But let's talk about Eyes Down first of all. I mean, that was a good part for you, wasn't it? Because, I mean, a bit gobby, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he had great put-downs. Not as bad as me, though.
Like what?
Well, like the other day, I was out and I met this sort of ropey old queen in the streets. He went... sort of looked at me. And I'd sort of looked at him because he had bleached blonde hair. I went straight to the barber's and had my hair cut and thought, I'm going grey. I'm sorry, I am not looking like that. And he went... I remember you from the Vauxhall Tavern. And I said, well, I'm glad to see, even though your looks have faded, your memory's still intact.
Is that part of the culture you came from?
Yeah. I had aunties and my mother were very much, you know, one-liners like that.
I wonder, though, how much... I mean, there's a lot of anger in you, isn't there?
Oh, loads.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I had the wrath of God.
Do you?
Oh, what? Yeah, some days I don't. Some days I wake up like... And other days, it's like I'm wading through treacle. Everything goes wrong. No matter what I do, you know, I'm thwarted.
What's the source of it? Does it worry you when you get angry?
No, I love it.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. God, not many. Yeah. In supermarkets, I'll go behind people, you know, and I say, come on, hurry up. Fucking get a life. And it just comes out. Or, you know, there'll be people in, say, I'm down Oxford Street and they're looking in the shop window and they go, isn't that lovely? And I'll go, isn't that lovely? I'm going to get punched one day.
Now, the other thing that you've done as well, which, again, I'll relate to your anger and ask how angry you get because of it. You passed your driving test. Yeah,
fabulous.
I mean, you went to this celebrity driving school thing and none of you passed it. I don't know how you actually drove in that situation with people hanging out your ear holes and things like that.
Well, there were sort of 6 cameras on the dashboard, and there were 2 up there, and then there was a van with crew following us, and behind the van were about 9 paparazzi. It was like wacky races. Like this. But then I passed on the 3rd attempt. I was determined to crack it once I got going.
Did it change your life when you...
Totally. Well, I live in the middle of nowhere. I live in Kent. You know, and I was always relying on people for lifts, or I'd ring a cab. It cost me about £90 to go to the shop. Oh, this... Seriously, I mean, it's like back and beyond. And so once I learned to drive, that was it. I mean, it's just... I can't tell you what it's like, you know, it's wonderful. I get in the car and off I go and...
That's the bonus part of it. What about the other part of it? Going back to your anger, because, I mean, if you drive a car nowadays, I mean, you've got to be a saint not to get angry at the antics of fellow road users. Do you have any particular people you shout at, or...?
I'll probably get lynched for this. No. Women in people carriers.
Oh, yes.
Shut up, you shouldn't be on the road, you're a bloody nuisance. And they have these great tanks full of kids because they're on the school run. And they're whacked off their eyeballs on Prozac and Valium. And I'm coming down a single-track country lane, you know, listening to the radio, minding my own business, and round she comes, Cruella de Vil, with a van full of progeny all screaming. And I'm in a ditch, you know, I think, God. So I went out and bought a second-hand Jeep to get my own back. And this thing's a tank, and I think, right, girls, let's see now, shall we, ladies? Baby on board? Not anymore, it's in a hedge. Yes. Don't you hate that little person on board? What, have you got a borrower on your back seat? I mean, that baby on board. So, you're a prolific breeder. What do you want me to do about it? I don't care what you've got in the back. Get out me way. You know, it doesn't make me so... Oh, there's a baby in that car. I won't speak in case I wake it up. I am because I'm a virgin, you know, I mean, at driving. Well, I haven't been one of them for years, but, you know... And little old people with caravans going on summer holidays, do 2 miles an hour, eating boiled sweets. And this is built up of traffic. And I think, keep your temper. Keep your temper. Do not open the window and shout euthanasia. Keep your temper. Keep your temper.
Do you manage to keep your temper?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You also, I mean, talking about driving, you also took flying lessons.
Well, I've booked, but I...
You booked?
Yeah, I'm about to embark on that when I get a bit of time.
Why flying lessons? I mean,
because I got so fed up with people saying, have you passed your test? I mean, I get asked that 60 times a day. Have you I'll be in the car and some old lady will throw herself on the bonnet. Seriously, I was coming out to Waitrose and I'm just turning up and this old woman, she landed on the bonnet, banged on the windscreen. And I thought, God, I've run over somebody. She went, have you passed your test? I said, no, this is a stolen vehicle. I'm driving without a licence, you daft old bitch. What do you think? Get out me way. So I thought, I'll have... They come up to me and they go, how's your heart? I'm still in my chest cavity, thank you. And they say, give us a kiss. And they got no teeth and all the breakfast round the mouth. And then they slip you the tongue. I mean, oh, please. I'm the gigolo of Safeways, honest to God. But, so I thought, I'll have flying lessons. So when people say to me, have you passed your test? I can say yes, and I'm a pilot as well. That's the only reason I wanted to do that.
Do you tend to keep away from the human race, generally
speaking?
Oh,
I hate the human race.
You do?
They got me bloody nerves. Really. No, I mean, I'm quite happy. People say, do you like living on... You know, you do interviews with journalists, and they always say, he lives alone with his animals. Like I'm some sort of into bestiality in the back bedroom or something. No, you know the way they go, it's alone, and you read it, and I could cry. I think, oh, God, he sounds tragic. I mean, I've been called a recluse, which I loved, yes. Absolutely loved. But I enjoy my own company, you know, I really do, you know, and I've got thousands of animals down in Kent.
You've had twins, haven't you?
I have had twins.
Yeah.
I have, no. Like, my cows had twins. Yeah. Dot.
Yeah. Dot.
Dot, yeah. And it's very rare, apparently, for a cow to give birth to twins.
Yes.
And it's even rarer for them to survive.
So you're really settled into the sort of country life.
I love it. Absolutely. I mean, I milked the cow. I go out and I bought this milking machine off the internet. And this thing arrived. It looked like something from Ann Summers, this thing. So I went wheeling down the field with this thing in a glass bottle, and here's Dot, and she sort of looked at me. Hey up, what's he got now? I said, now come here, Dot, and I got her udder. And I whacked these things on her udder, and she went about 20 foot in the air. And then I eventually got them all on. I said, now don't panic, Dot. You know, stroked her, give her the hay, give her a bit of food, tied her up to the fence. Switch this thing on. My God, the noise. Dot's udders were sucked in like a cartoon. Every drop of milk in her body was hauled out within 10 seconds. If I'd have left it on, she'd have been nothing. She'd have been paper thin on the floor. But so I milk the cow, you know, and I shove it in the fridge, and you separate it, and you take the cream off, and you make butter and ice cream. Of course, my cholesterol level's 10,000 now. But it's great fun. I mean,
but of course, you were brought up on a farm, weren't you? Well, not. I mean, you spent some of your childhood on a farm in Ireland. I also read an interesting thing in research about you as a young person at that time, too, about this fixation you had with Popeye.
Popeye mad.
Yeah. So how did it manifest itself? I mean, what happened?
I just loved. It still is my favourite cartoon, Popeye. I think it's the
Popeye
best
too.
cartoon. The old ones, you know.
Well, only the big biceps, the anchor on the
I love and Olive had an illegitimate baby.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who the father of Olive's baby was. Was it Bluto? Was it Popeye? We have no idea. Sweet Pete, little creepy there. I was just obsessed with Popeye. I loved it. So when I was a kid, I suppose I had an eating disorder. I mean, I'm still not food mad. I can, you know, if you could take a pill, I would.
Yes.
And I wouldn't eat, you know. And because I had such a great family, great parents, instead of sitting me at a table and saying, you will eat that dinner, they'd invent games. So Radox, remember Radox bath salts? They used to come in an old plastic tub. So they emptied this tub out and they stuck a label on saying spinach. And seriously, God help them. And they used to get the plate of food, pour it in the Radox thing, could be anything, and plonk it in front of me and I'd eat the lot. But I'd have to do it like that without a knife and fork. So there'd be a fried egg, you know, 2 pieces of bacon, bit of fried bread and a bit of black pudding all sliding down. While my sister felt my arm to see the muscles, and they go, na 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 na. I had terrible bloody indigestion because they used to whack it down.
It's one of the radio.
I know, but I'm still Popeye mad. Still mad on it. Yeah, I love him.
Now, you're in great shape. I mean, I need to ask you how you are. You're obviously very well. And
I'm better now than I've ever been.
Are you?
Yeah, before I had the heart attack, I was always tired. You know, I'd go up the stairs and I think, oh, I've had it, and all this business. And then, of course, it happened, and because I had such a massive blockage, you know, they cleared all that out and they put a little metal spring in, a stent, whatever it's called, and you're awake while they do all this. And because I was so out of my mind on morphine, it was the best night out I'd ever had. And I thought I was at a cocktail party. And I'm lying on this table, sort of regaling the story of my life and saying to the nurse, have you got an ashtray, love? And it was a slap in the mouth off the gods to say, when you get threatened by Mick Jagger to keep away from Ronnie Wood because you're a bad influence.
When did this happen?
We went to a soil association party.
A soil association?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the soil association because I do organic. You know, I'm into organic growing of fruit and veg and all that. But I don't. I've got gardeners, but I crack on, I do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I sort of go out and kick a few things and say, that's nice, and go back in. But, so I'm heavily into all this. And we were at a dinner for the Soil Association in Ronnie's club, the Harrington. Oh, and I was told, there's 3 things not allowed on the Stones tour. Cocaine, alcohol, and you. I said, why? This is your bad influence on Ronnie. I felt like Janis Joplin. I said, how can you be a bad influence on a Rolling Stone?
Impossible, wouldn't it?
I know, but obviously I was. And so it was, I mean, I'd go out on a Thursday and I'd come home on a Tuesday. That was my idea of a good night out.
Yes. And now you can't do that. You don't do that.
You know, I'd wake up next to a minicab driver. Do the LEU. Oh, please. I mean, I'd never had it off sober. Seriously. It's very rude, this. What time does it go out?
No, it's all right, 10:50, you're fine.
Well, I hadn't seen. I was always out a few scoops. I've had a bit of nookie. And when I actually had to do it sober, I thought, there's no way. You are seriously joking. You think I'm even touching that thing? You've got another thing coming. Not even for money.
But this brings us to your what's called your sexual cardiac liaison officer. You have a sexual cardiac liaison officer.
When you have a heart attack, I mean, they're amazing in St Thomas's. I can't, you know, they go on about the National Health. I was looked after by National Health nurses, and they were always there. The doctor never seemed to go home. You know, they're so hard-working. They were just... I can't praise them enough or thank them enough for what they did. Because I was very angry after it happened. You know, I thought, why has this happened to me and all this nonsense? And they were constantly in monitoring me, saying, now, calm down, Paul, give me another Valium. And, you know, when you go out, they do monitor you. They're very... Because I had quite a bad one, you know. I died in the ambulance and all this, and was brought round with the things. Yeah. And they said, you know, we have a sexual cardiac liaison officer. And I said, what? You know... What, you ring them up if you want to shag? They said, no. Well, I didn't know. They said, no, they don't have sex with you. They said, but when you've had sex, you ring them up to tell them how you got on. I said, you're joking? No, we'd like to know because, you know, you mightn't be able to. To what? And I love dragging it out to get them embarrassed. You know, I got a phone call off this woman. Hello, Paul, it's a sexual cardiac liaison officer. I said to her, I haven't done it yet. I said, I haven't had time, I've been too busy. I said, I haven't fancied it, to tell you the truth. And I'm thinking, why am I telling this complete stranger about my sex life? So she said, well, you know, when you do it, can you let me know? So I did it and rang her up, and I said, I've done it. And she said, everything. I said, well, I said, I'll ask. I said, was it all right? Yes. No problem. Yeah, fabulous.
Well,
But it's great that they have these people.
and it's great that you've got that kind of treatment from the National Health
Oh,
Service
wonderful.
too. Much more
Absolutely wonderful, seriously.
Now, listen, talking about slowing down, you've got another series of the sitcom coming up.
I have.
And then you're going to do the Jen game.
I am. Yeah, I'm doing the Jan, the new host of the Generation
So that
Game.
starts when? In the autumn time, is it?
Well, we film it this Wednesday.
Oh, do you?
We're doing a pilot. I'm allowed to say pilot. I have to say special.
Special. Yes,
Yeah.
we might use it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
special.
So we're doing that, and really it's to see whether I like it as well. You know what I mean? Because
I think you'll fit it very well.
well, we've
actually.
been rehearsing, and it's been, you know, we're doing all the things with the cakes and the play at the end.
It's a fun game. The
But it's
reason
a
why
hit
people, well, the reason why people like it is because the format. It's a good format.
Exactly.
Yeah, it must.
You know, and there's no, like, naffs having rats shoved down the knickers, you know, and stuff like that. I can't bear all that reality crap.
No.
I hate it.
No.
See,
Well, there's something we'll talk about later on with our other guests as well, because it's an interesting subject, because it is swamping our television.
they've rung me up to ask me to do, you know, they said, would I like to, they're doing a programme about domestic service, and would I like to go and work a 16-hour day in the kitchens as a scullery maid?
What was your answer?
I can't repeat it on a classy show like this. Honestly, this is how it's getting. You know, but to get on the telly now, we're going to have to be sucking cockroaches and all manner of...
Well, you don't have to. You're going to do the Jen game instead.
Yeah.
So well, I wish you well with that. And
Thank
the
you very
rest. And
much.
it's good to see you looking so
Oh,
good.
aye, smashing, feel it.
Paul O'Grady.
Thank you very much.
My next guest is best described as a megastar.